Hi, I am Yogesh Sripati Pitkal and today's date is 11 August 2021 and our today's topic is a static keyword in Java programming language. Now, first is a static keyword in a Java. It is used for the memory management mainly. We can apply a static keyword with variable, methods, blocks and nested classes. At that this point we are use the keyword static keyword, and there are static keywords can be also used in variables also known as the class variable. Second one is a method also known as a class method. Third one is a block, and fourth is a nested class. Now first of all, what is meant by the Java static variable? Firstly, if you any declare a variable as static, at that point it is known as a static variable. The static variable can use to refer the common property of all the objects. At that point, when we create some variable, so at that point the all that variable values is same for the remaining or entire class or method of body. Same. For example, a company name of, for example, the company name of employees, college name of student, etc. are the used in the static keywords. The static variables gets into the memory only once in the class area at the end of the time of the class. So, first of all, that means firstly we declare the static variable in a class. At that point, that variable allocates a memory, and that memory is permanently. So that's why we cannot change the properties of that variable. So that's why that is variable is finally. So you by using a static keyword at that point our program is more efficiently. So that's why we use the static keyword. The understanding the problem without the static variable. So suppose there are 500 student there are 500 students in my college. Now all instance data members will get memory each time when the object is created. All the students have unique roll number and name. At that point, these all the students have its roll number and name. So that is the instance data member is good for at that time. The college, at that point, the college is a common property of all the students. If we make it static, this field we get the memory only once. So that's why that is the used in a static keywords in Java programming language. Now there are programming counter of the static keywords. In this we have created an instance variable named count, which is incremented in the constructor, since the instance variable gets the memory at the time of the object creation. Each object will have the copy of the elements, so each object will have the value in the count variable. So that's why this is the requirement for the static keyword in a Java programming language. Now next is the Java static method. In that the Java static method, if we can apply the static keyword with any method, it is known as the static method. And a static method belongs to class rather than the object of the class. A static also, the static method can be invoked without the need of creating an instance of the class. So the static method can access the static data member and can change the value of it. That means when our method is static, at that point we cannot assign the values without the static variable. So that's the point our variable is also static, our method is also static. At that point we initialize that methods or that variable. So that's why that is the use for the static keyword in Java programming language. Now next unit is the restriction for the static method. In that there are two main restrictions for the static method. The static method cannot be used in non-static data member or called as non-static method directly. In that point, when our member is integer or character, likely instance variable, at that the point our method is static, we cannot assign that the data member values by using method. So that's why we use the static we use the static keyword belongs to or refers to the integer. At that the point we assign or declare the variables by using method. Now second restrictions of the static method is the these as super cannot use in a static context. So at that the point these constructor and super constructor are not used in a static method. Now why is the Java main method static is a very important point in our static keyword, because the object is not required to call a static method. At that the point we require some we return a static in the public static void main method. At that the point we cannot require any object to call the main method by using our static. So it is internally called at the main method. So if it were a non-static method, JVM creates an object first, then call main method. That will lead to program of extra memory allocation. So that's why the static memory allocation is used. Now second point is a Java 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 static block. It is utilize the static data member and it is executed before and the main method at the time of class loading. So that's why this is the all about the static keyword in a Java programming language. Okay, thank you.